fellow YouTubers, Cable Craig Temple Toys 2, here to bring you a review this time on Kratos Sackboy. Here you can see on the front of the box it says Little Big Planet, and it's pretty much where you can see him through there. Looks really cool. I had to get it. I love Kratos. I love the story for God of War, and I just love this version of Sackboy. So now let's look at everything. At the top here you see it says Little Big Planet, and it also says this PlayStation official licensed product. Cool. Nothing to see on this side. Nothing to see on this side. It just says yeah. Here on the back you can see there's no read up, it just says Little Big Planet. Has a nice picture of Kratos Sackboy there. It says yeah, and it also says that there's available the Happy Sackboy, the Sad Sackboy, and the one I have, the official Kratos Sackboy. Alright, so that's a quick look at the box, and now let's look at the actual figure. Okay, and here's Kratos Sackboy out of the little plastic see-through box. But as you can see, he is really cool. I do like him. He does look epic. The look they gave him, that expression on his face, it's really cool. So now let's talk about the weapons he comes with, and then we'll look at the actual figure. Right, I can't think of the official name of these, but this is what he comes with. He comes with these two swords that, you know, I don't know, like, it's a pretty nice color, but I thought it'd be cool, like, it was some orange in there, some red in there, and if there was some chains attached to them. But these still do look pretty cool. They just gave them kind of a plain handle. It's kind of like a really easy, like, plastic, you know, it doesn't feel cheap. Just, you know, it wasn't really any detail put on this part. There is some detail actually put on the blade. I do like the designs they put in there, and I do like the outline being gold. So those are pretty cool, and I do like how they did those. Now, I really do think this is creative. It actually comes with this thing right here, which you can put on his back, and it securely holds both the blades. So one blade here, and take the other blade and have it right there, and that's pretty much it. And you take this, and you take that little ball, and in the back of him, there's somewhere to put it. So you just stick it in there. Well, let me put his hands to the back. And you take it, and you just stick it in there. And just like that, he holds the blade. It is loose, and it can easily come out. But I think it's really cool to hold. Now, one thing about him is that for him to stand, he does stand good. But you can't have the head tilted too far because it'll fall over. Because as you can see, he does have a pretty huge head. So now let's look at a lot of details of the actual figure. Looking at the facial expression, I love how that came out. You would expect Kratos to do that. And I do love how they gave him this huge goatee. So that looks pretty cool. You can see the patterns in his stitching. It still looks very nice. Well, at the top is what looks really nice. Look how they did the stitching all the way through. And no, this cannot be taken off. I have tried. The actual red line does look really good. It doesn't look sloppy. I do like how that came out. I'm not seeing any bleeding either. Like, I love how it looks like it's not completely clean. It looks a little dirty and rugged, just like how it would look for Kratos with the ashes. So that looks very nice. And it did come out very good. Now, on the back, there is a little more stitching here on the side. And that was done very good. Some of the stitching does look a little weird though. As you can see, I guess they put some silver on the top, but they didn't do the whole part that should be silver. So as you can see in there, it's gray, the same color as the actual Sackboy. And the silver just looks like they just put a dab of it at the top. But it still does look good, and I do still like it. Now, the only thing I saw really wrong with the paint to me is that right here on the bottom, there is some red running onto the gray. Right here, so that looks a little different, but past that, it doesn't look that bad. I do like how they did the actual skirt he's wearing. You can see the little designs in there for the hieroglyphics, if I'm saying that right. I do love how that skirt came out. Now, as far as the actual chains go, I do like that effect. I do like how they nailed the shoulder pad there, wrapped around the chains. That looks really cool, and there's the hole to put the swords there so they don't move. Looks really nice. And at the bottom, his feet actually do turn a little bit darker. It seems like it's more detail in the pattern on the head than it is the rest of the body. You see how it's a little deeper there. The stomach and chest plate it's a little bit more grayer. Like, there's not that much darkness going on there. And at the bottom, like I said, it is darker, which it doesn't look that bad. It looks really cool to me. I do love how he still has that zipper there. So the zipper looks awesome. Very cool. I wonder if it moves. Let me see if it moves. Let me see. Nope, the zipper it's not an actual zipper, and it's not really made to move. If you try to move it, you might break it or bend it. But I do like how that came out. Looks very cool. Once again, I do like the shoulder pad, and it's a great display piece. Also, one thing on the bottom, it does come with a peg hole. I do not know, because this wasn't included with any stand, but there's a peg hole just in case, I guess, you were to have an extra stand and you wanted to put it there. And as you can see there, it just says SCEE 2015, all rights reserved. And it says made in China on the other leg. Pretty cool. Now, it's a very nicely done version of Kratos for Sackboy, but now let's look at the articulation. Now, whenever you go to actually take his sword and you want them to hold in his hands, he does hold them good, but it's a little bit of a wrestle to put it in his hand. It's not easy. They don't just fall in there. Like, these hands don't bend any or nothing. So you kind of have to force it in there. And as you can see from the first time where I tried it before I turned on my video, some of the gray paint even came on from how hard I had to stick it in there. So as you can see, a little bit hard, but once it's in there, it's in there. So that's one of them. And then the other one, I don't think this one was as hard for some reason. Let me see. Take it and we're gonna stick it in there. Come on, stick it. You can even hear how hard it is. It's like both of them are very hard, like plastic. But once it's in there, it's in there. So it's sticking, it's sticking. Get in there. Why is it so hard? Whew. Okay, there we go. Now it's in there. Now these will stay there. This is like a firm grip. Basically, these hands don't move any. You can't get them to bend. The thumb does not move. There's no type of articulation there. But yeah, so it takes a minute to get them in his hand. So once you have them in there, they're pretty much in there. They can move a little bit, as you can see, but they're not going anywhere. I don't know. I think I'd rather just have him with his hands down and with them on his back, because I think that's a cool look. But you can also have him where he's holding them. So whatever you want to do. As far as articulation goes for him, it's not that much. But as you can see with his legs can move a little bit. They can only move that much back and forward, and they can come out just a tad, but not that much. They do feel a little loose, but I think that's normal for this type of figure. As far as there's no type of ab torso, nothing can move, no ab crunch, none of that. Now his actual arms can go out that far, and they can turn all the way around, can go up and down, so they can go completely around, even though it bumps into his head whenever you make the circle. So those can spread out, and even the one with the shoulder plate, it can only go out about that far. So this one does look like it can go up. No, they do go out the same. And then this one still can go completely around if you want it to. Now, as far as the rest of the forearms go, there's no twist anywhere. And you can't pop the wrist or anything. And the last part of the articulation is the head. It feels loose, and it does somewhat feel like a bobblehead. But it can turn side to side. It can not really look down. And it can tilt its head up that much, and a little bit of a pivot. So not that much articulation, but I really didn't expect that much for this figure. It still is really cool. I think I would rather this come with a stand, and I think the look I would want is for him to just have his hands down, look like he's mad with the swords on his back, but still a very cool figure. So this has been my review of the Kratos Sackboy. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in future videos. This has been Caleb Craig, Double Toys 1-2. Bye.
Now, these are not toys. These are collectibles. I said good day.